This activity is called Lift the Flap on Anger, and the write-up's in your book on page 148. And it's an activity for, well, mostly for older children to explore the way that anger is a secondary emotion. So often when we're feeling anger, there's actually another emotion underneath that's driving that anger.
And it's a really simple activity. Lots of kids will have had the experience of reading Lift the Flap books, like Spot the Dog, when they're younger, and so they understand the concept of lifting a flap to find something underneath. So we make this just really simply using a sheet of cardboard which we fold over, and then we cut some flaps, and we talk about, let's think about, I know that you got really angry that time. I wonder whether there were any feelings underneath that. So for example, when you got really angry with Mum before you went out to the party, I'm wondering whether maybe there was another feeling underneath that.
Maybe worry? That's a common one to be underneath anger for children, isn't it? Often when children are anxious or worried, it's come out of the obvious emotion that's displayed is the anger, but when in actual fact it's the anxiety or worry that's driving it.
Absolutely, and it's really important to connect to that emotion underneath, isn't it? Because that's really what we need kids to be tuning into and expressing. And for parents and teachers and all of those adults around a child, it's actually so much easier if a child can say, I feel a bit worried about this, or I'm upset.
Yeah, so other common feelings, often children will react in anger when underneath that's disappointment. Other common examples we have are sadness hiding underneath the anger, jealousy comes up a bit too, we've got embarrassment that occasion. Oh, there's the jealousy too. So lots of, and it depends on different children. I've certainly had children talk about hunger underlying their anger, and they're hangry. But it's true that, not only for children but also the parents and teachers to be able to tune in and have a guess at the emotion underneath that anger. It's really important, and I guess anger can be quite a confronting, difficult emotion for some adults to empathise with when a child's really angry. But when the parents start to discover that actually the child's angry because they're really hurt or embarrassed, sometimes that can just bring about a lot more empathy from the adults too, can't it?
Yeah, and the other way I've used this activity with parents is to think about behaviour and what might be the feeling underneath. So to list the behaviour on the top and then think about, I wonder what was going on for your child at that point in time. What might have been the feeling underneath? So particularly for parents of younger children who might find this activity just too abstract and challenging, to think about from the parent's point of view, how can we use this to help them tune in to what's underneath? It often is a lot more simpler and makes it a lot more real for families if they can actually do something rather than just trying to have that conversation about that.
Absolutely, and it just gives them that structure to their conversations when a child is feeling angry, and if they're just seeing the anger, to reflect back, I can see you feeling really angry right now. I wonder what other feelings hiding underneath. What's underneath there.
Yeah, absolutely. So a really simple activity, one that doesn't require a lot of materials, but a really effective one, and obviously would be wanting to send the child and family home with this, and for them to try and notice some times when people in their family have had angry feelings and what might be the feeling underneath. So sometimes I'll leave a couple blank down the bottom for those times when they notice at home and can jot it down, and it becomes a really useful tool for